there was a woman and she was looking at a painting in a museum. That's a cartoon setup. And there's a guy and a girl. And the girl says, I wonder what it means. And the guy goes, well, actually, it means this. And she goes, I said I wonder, not tell me. You know what I'm saying? Which, to a man, they mean the same fucking thing. Right. To a man, they mean the same thing. I'm sorry. They mean the same thing to a man.
And I think that's a problem. You know, in Tymon, you were bringing up an incident that happened several episodes back. And there, you know, I am certainly not denying the fact that mansplaining happens. And there are a lot of guys that aren't conscious of it. You know, they aren't woke, to use the current terminology. But there is a difference between a man explaining something and mansplaining. You know, but a lot of people, you know, I think it's part of human nature that people who have been systematically oppressed tend to crave superiority, you know, and a lot of times it's done in the guise of equality. Where, you know, well, when we're running the show, you're going to be so fucked, you know, and it's like,
I don't think so.
You know, no, I'm not saying that's everybody, you know, but I've noticed that with some feminists, you know, and like even, you know, I'm Jewish, and granted I look like this, so I have benefited from white privilege for all my life. Yeah, well, you know. But
Jesus.
So glad this is an audio podcast. But, you know, and I'm certainly not saying that is like, well, so anyone who talks about equality, what they really want is superiority. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that does exist. And I think in any struggle, and I think it's justifiable. It's understandable, not justifiable.
Well, a lot of men are out, you know, they always want to fix something. And they have a tendency. And now, usually, because a woman, they used to always say a woman can get a man to do a lot of things. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can get a brother to go through that wall. I mean, I mean, my friend Candace, her husband, you do not want to meet him in the street, okay? But she can break that brother down just like, he said, man, I used to never let my wife tell me how to dress. But my wife, she dresses me now. And if you meet this brother, you go, really? Oh, yeah, man, it's just the way she does it. I mean, it's just easy. It's just like, and it's just the way she talks. And she motivates him. She says, I'm not trying to take anything. And so what I've had to learn is how to talk to her, because as a man, I'm used to fixing things. And you tell me an issue, I'm going to come in and fix it. I'm Superman. I'm going to come in and no, I didn't ask you to do that, because she's a businesswoman, so she already knows. And she's just the way it, you know, it's, and I don't think a lot of guys do it. It's cool when women say, hey, you know, and I didn't need you to do that. Yeah,
Well, to me, though, it's like there's a difference between explaining and mansplaining, and the difference is this. It's like recently I was on a Facebook thread, obviously, and the discussion.
Conflict never happens there.
What? I don't know what you're talking Facebook threads. What? And the post, I forget the original post was, but my friend Shannon posted something about the flu vaccine, and one of her really good friends is a pediatrician who knows all about the flu vaccine. And some dude bro comes on and tries to explain how the flu vaccine is BS. And she's like, well, actually, I work in the vaccination industry. And she's like, didn't well actually him. She just had her post, and then he comes and replies, you know, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. And you go to his Facebook page, and his job, barista. You go to her Facebook page, her job, pediatrician at Kaiser Hospital. She's been, you know, and it's like, who are you? That's mansplaining. Who are you to come and tell this pediatrician who's been vaccinating children for 15 years that
Shut
she's
the fuck
wrong
up
about
and
how
bring
the
me my
vaccination,
latte.
about how the flu vaccine works? Tell me how to make a macchiato, jackass. Don't tell me how to, you know what I mean?
You know what?
And that's the difference.
That was Michelle and I.
Comes in, and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
You come into like I've had dudes. I work I'm a comedian and all this type of stuff, but I don't make any money at it, and so I work in my regular day job as a copywriter and a technical writer, and I have dudes try to come in and explain to me like on. There's literally, like, if you go on my Facebook page, there's whole threads about the Oxford comma. And dudes are telling me that it doesn't work. And I'm just like, you know what, though? It does. And this is why. Don't tell me. And then you go on there. You're not a writer.
This is your expertise.
This is your expertise. This is what I do for a living. This is what I make. This is what I pay my bills with. This is what I pay my internet to be on Facebook and tell you that you're wrong about the Oxford comma.
But I got balls. I got balls, and they full of jizz. And they make that my jizz. It's just so many ideas.
And that's where women That's what most
Every
women when they
sperm
talk about
has a
mansplaining,
tiny little
it's that
brain in
type
it,
of thing.
and so I got all these extra brains in me, just telling me what's right.
Yeah, you're negating my literal expertise. Because you think you know better based on what? Based on what?
Well, there's a classic quote. It was.
Did you quit being a doctor to become a barista? Is that what you did?
Right, and that's the thing. There's allow me to interrupt your expertise with my confidence. That's a classic quote. I wish I could quote it. That's not my thought, but it is brilliant because it definitely explains. I'm so confident. I don't know shit. But I'm so confident, which is why we have what we have in regards to politics. I don't necessarily want to bring up the T word.
Absolutely. We are a political show. We were going to get there eventually.
Yeah, but it's straight up this confidence and manufactured expertise that comes out of nowhere. And it's just like how we say that, like, crying over a bunch of dumb bullshit or how Bill Burr classically said, it was a classic girlfriend idea. It sucked and it took all day. You know what I mean? That's funny because women be doing that. Women be doing that. So if we can say that women be coming up with some dumbass, antiquing ass idea for us to have to do all day that sucks and make us do that to say that that's female, why is it not okay for females to go, well, it is quite male to come explain some shit you already know how to do. It is quite male to come up and shoot up the school. It is quite male to, you know what I'm saying? We balk at that. We balk at being generalized while we vociferously generalize them. And it goes race, class, all the way down.
But I think the reason that that is so offensive to so many men is that, like, you can talk about women be taking their men antiquing, and every woman that has no desire to go antiquing, I know a lot of chicks do that. But I think because as men, we have been in the societally superior position for so long, we all, like, as much as we don't want to admit it, we all know we're guilty of it, and maybe not all the time. Maybe we are woke and we are paying attention. We are trying to change our behavior as individuals. But there's been like at least one instance in your past where you've been like, yeah, I did that. And so it cuts to the bone. It's like, but not all men.
You do have it though. No man wants a dumb woman.
Oh, well.
I mean, no, because
real man
wants a dumb. I don't have all the answers.
Ty, I worked at the Playboy Mansion when Hugh Hefner was dating Seven. I will refute.
Right, but the reason why I said it,
dumb woman.
like over at our cigar lounge, at our cigar lounge that I go to, there is a woman who knows more about cigars than men there, and she can tell you all day long. And this sister can run them down and tell you this is da 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 da, and this is blah, blah, and the guys go, "What? No, this is no."
How many men try to dispute what she knows?
Oh, they do it all the time.
See.
But because she knows.
Which one of us works here, though?
Right, and she don't work. I mean, she loves to come. Now she knows that sometimes she's the only female in the whole place, but she's cool people, and and all the guys come in, and it's kind of great that you got all these guys come giving you a peck on the cheek, and you getting all this attention. But she don't. It's not like she's looking for it, but that's just that's Crystal, and everybody likes Crystal. But when it comes down to talking about cigars and what's the best, you can go to her and no, I'm not going. I'm gonna go over and ask Crystal because Crystal knows. What's going on, and she can lay it down and the different flavors and the wrappers and and just knowledge,
Yeah, you respect Crystal clearly, but I bet you Crystal could tell you a million stories of dudes who don't listen to her, even though she clearly has superior knowledge.
Oh, sure.
It's to anybody with privilege, obviously, that's like the It's like almost a hacky, or it's an aphorism now. It's like, to anybody with any kind of privilege, equality looks like oppression.
Yeah.
And so the fact that Crystal has as much knowledge as any man who would have as much knowledge about cigars, to other men, especially, who don't really know but think they know because they read one book about cigars, they're gonna look at Crystal and be like, how would she know? And like, she's been in this game way longer than you. That's all you have to understand. She's been doing it longer.
To the point that the owners will come to her and say, hey, try this out, let me know what you think. Bring her a cigar just to tell you, can you check this out?
Because she knows what she's talking about, and she's proven it.
Right.
But
and she brings business, brings her girlfriends in, the girls will come in.
But if Crystal was Christopher, she wouldn't have to prove it over and over again.
No.
Well, and to go back to the point Ed was making, and I respect that you didn't want to say the T word, and I think this is where we're definitely seeing this as just basic regular practice now, but it didn't start under Trump. It's something the Republicans have been doing for a while, and that is painting ignorance as a virtue.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about no book learning.
Yeah,
you guys would be considered elitist.
Yeah,
Damn East
but it's
Coast
like
elite.
they don't see that. They don't see that
as the
there are
token
those
white
of
in the
us-
room, isn't the word uppity?
Uppity, bougie.
But it's like they don't see that there are those of us who would like, you know what? I want to learn how to skin a raccoon. Guess who I'm going to go to? Probably a Bible thumping Trump supporter, because the chances are they're going to know. If that's what I want to learn, I want to go to somebody, and they don't see that there can be a reciprocation of knowledge, and we don't have to fucking look at each other like you're a jackass because of what you think, and I'm a jackass because of what I think. We can have different views and come to a consensus that makes either everybody happy or everybody fucking miserable.
Did you see Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about death with Larry King?
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I showed that video to a guy, and he says, "Oh yeah, like yeah. I mean, he's talking about just throw him back to the earth and let the.
It was really beautiful. It was like
it was
a
great
mix.
the way he
It was
did
a
it.
mix of like Zen Buddhism and science, basically saying that when he dies, he wants to be buried and become one with the planet and the universe again. Because
I want to be made into like
the body
you can
will
do that.
degrade.
You can get made into a tree. Or,
right. That's what he was saying. He's saying
like
you can be. He said, put me back to the floral of where I came from, to be a part of the earth, and that I grow back with the earth. I give back.
Or best case scenario, or I want to be like buried by the Neptune Society. A friend of mine passed away about 2 years ago, and he was young. He was only 39, and he knew he was dying. So he asked, I want to be thrown in the ocean, but you can have your ashes done in such a way that when you throw them in the ocean, it actually turns into like proteins or something like that for the fishes.
But I showed a guy
that speaks to me as a Pisces and as a water lover. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Throw me in the ocean.
Ed, she's a Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, I don't even know what I am.
He's a Gemini.
Whoa, wow.
So about 40% of the time, Ed is crazy.
Oh, wow.
I can't,
honestly, as a comedian, I got to say 40%. That's pretty good.
Hey, as Kanye said, I'm doing pretty good as far as geniuses go. So, what were you saying?
Oh no, it's just that now that we're like delving into astrology, there was a movie in the 70s, maybe early 80s, but late 70s, The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Yeah, about the basketball team that starts doing everything by astrology, and I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I'm sure it doesn't hold up, but I want to see if it's on like Netflix or something.
I smell weed. Do you smell weed?
I smell a whole bunch of weed.
Yeah, I know.
For once, it's not coming from me.
I thought you had your little toker.
No, I do, but I haven't. Not
somebody
yet.
next door is blazing.
I haven't needed it.
Hot like Cajun, blazing.
It's good to be in Los Angeles.
It smells pretty decent weed too.
But as far as but yeah, what are we talking about? I just feel like there are a lot of overly confident people about a lot of stuff because I feel like the internet has decided that everybody's. I don't want to get elitist.
Anybody can be an expert on it.
Everybody's voice is so valid right now, and while we're trying to get,
but that's the thing. Everybody's voice is not necessarily valid.
Yeah, no,
and this
I
is
get
my
it.
problem
Yeah.
with ignorance being lauded as a virtue. It just because you can talk and you have an opinion, that doesn't make you factually right. And yes, we do have a First Amendment, and everybody deserves to be heard.
Well, okay, but
much
this-
to our
what is
chagrin.
It's called the narcissistic sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also if I could break it down vulgarly,
You're in the right place.
I was talking to Klee. We were having some argument about some shit, and it was about somebody's opinion or some shit. I was
Per
like,
usual.
you know what? You know what? Opinions are like assholes, and it's not because they all stink. That's stupid. It's just the fact that there's a qualitative difference between people's assholes. Okay, some people's assholes are fucked up. Some people's
have been
assholes